Afternoon, everyone. Cargo Bike Life here. We're continuing on with the build of the little Spirit FS5 right here. I just got done putting some nail polish on all the spots that are dinged in the paint. So I'm letting that dry and see how it looks. Maybe we'll put on a second coat. But today we're going to cover some rusty parts that we still got to clean up. So I went and got some triple aught steel wool. Triple aught means 4 zeros. It's really fine steel wool. Got it at Walmart. It was like $2 or $3 for the bag. And I also got a can of PB Blaster. I have WD-40, but I'm going to try some PB Blaster for this one. WD-40 is not really a rust prohibitor. It's a water displacement. But PB Blaster works really good at getting rid of rust. And the first thing we're going to do is, we had the crank and it had this little plate that was bolted on like that. Well, I removed the bolts and nuts that hold it on there, and this is what we're left with. And as you can see, you can see how rusty that is. It's very rusty. Same with this little flimsy piece of, I don't know, I think it's aluminum probably, maybe, but it's very rusty. And we're gonna work on cleaning that off there. And what we got here is the bolts that were in there. You see that rust on the head of them? You can see the threads, they're a little cleaner. You see that side of the washer? It's rusty. The other side's shiny. So we're gonna put the nuts and bolts. Same thing with the nuts. The one side of them is very rusty, and the other side of them is very shiny. And since we're going to shine this up, we don't want to put rusty nuts and bolts back on there. So what we're going to try is, we're going to put them in this little, container. We're going to take some PB Blaster. Oh crap. Hold on. What's this? Alright. And shake it up. Put some PB Blaster in there, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set this so that it's tipped up. Got a little Altoids can right there. I'm just going to set it up so I can soak in that while I'm cleaning these other parts. And here's what I got. This is the nail polish I got. I bought this at Dollar Tree. It was $1 for a bottle. It's LA Colors. It says nail polish with hardener, with hardeners in it. And what it is basically is it's an enamel nail polish with a hardener already in it. So where I brushed it on, it's drying. The only problem I see is, and I'm not trying to hide anything, but you can see where the paint was chipped off, and I covered over it with nail polish because the paint on the bicycle was very thick, and when it chipped off, you know, of course it left a gouge. And I don't really want to sand on it and try to sand it smooth and then fill it with nail polish, because that's just not going to be, it's not going to be right. I'm just trying to put something over it to prohibit any rust from getting in there. And when it dries, I'll put a little second coat on, which should help fill it, because you got to kind of layer it. It's like painting anything. You don't just, if you sand down a whole bike frame and paint it, you don't just hit it one heavy coat. You do light coats and build it up. You know, wet sanding in between coats. Building up, wet sanding, then clear coats and sanding. And I mean, it's a process. Anybody who's ever painted anything will know that. So let's get some of our steel wool out here. Just going to get a little steel wool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little PB Blaster. Ooh, whoa, hold on. Just going to put a little PB Blaster right on my steel wool. And then I'm just going to start wiping this down with this triple-aught steel wool. Now, I hope you can see that, but just that one little spot where I did. You see how much shinier it is than all the rust on there? I hope I'm holding it right so you can see it. I can see it pretty good in the camera, so I'm hoping you can see it. But it's pretty rusted up. So let's keep doing it a little more. And triple-aught steel wool won't scratch it. Like if you were to use sandpaper, all it would do is gouge the metal up and make it look really bad. It would have like scratch marks all over it, but steel wool doesn't do that. It just kind of takes the rust away. I don't like using the steel wool dry either. I like to keep some kind of lubricant on it. I used to use WD-40, but like I said, I thought I'd try some PB Blaster because it's pretty good at getting rid of rust. And the nice thing about steel wool is it can conform to all kinds of shapes, like getting in this little crevice right here. This is really easy to get in there and get on all the little parts of it. And you just have to sit here and work at it until it's what you want it to be. It's very relaxing working on bikes at your own pace. Like I worked in a shop once, but the pace the owner wanted me to go at was not the pace I like to work at. So you're supposed to relax and enjoy the things you do in life, not be rushed, hurry, 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 rush. What's the fun in that? I mean, I get it that he was paying me, but what he was paying me wasn't anywhere near enough to merit what the rate he wanted me to work at. Okay, so take a little cloth here, wipe this down. See, I know this bike project, you were probably thinking, well, man, he'll have this put back together in just a couple days, but I never get in a hurry with anything unless I absolutely have to. For me, the whole joy is the slow progress of just relaxing and working on it and making it nice and, you know, trying to get all the little details the way you want them so that when you're done, because like I know people who rush things and then they end up going back and doing it again, or they miss something, they have to tear it apart and do it again. I'm just not into it. I'd rather do it once, do it right, one and done. Alright, now there's still some rust I could see in this little crevice, and I'll get that out, but look how much shinier that is. Look how much nicer that looks. I mean, look at the back side of it. Look at all that rust still in there. And I'll get all that out too, but you can see just from just a few minutes, but I can see in these grooves still rust. Not happy with that. Let's try the crank. Let's do a little on the crank so you can see. Now there's the crank. It's got some grease. It's got some rust on it. Let's do a little section of the crank. Most of what I'm sanding off just appears to be surface rust because it's coming off fairly easily. The other thing it's good for, you see the grease on the teeth right here, but where I've cleaned it, all the grease is now gone. So that's another benefit of doing it this way. Look at that. Look how much nicer that looks. Look how shiny it is. Looks like brand new. Look at the backside. Complete rust. But it's just surface rust. It'll come off. But just a little bit of effort. Look how nice we can make things. This thing, I don't think this bike was rode that much, to tell you the truth, because it doesn't have the wear that I would see on something that had been ridden a lot. I don't know if the kid rode it a few times and forgot about it, or I don't know. But look how nice that looks now. Nice and shiny. I mean, there's still some grease and stuff that I have to get off, but I'm just showing you real quick how easy it is to restore old bike with just a little bit of work. And this, when it's done, if some kid gets it, I mean, it might make them really happy, because they'll have something unique. They won't have some Walmart bike. This is better than a Walmart bike. I mean, this frame is welded together. It's steel. It's not some cheap aluminum piece of garbage that is going to fall apart on him. If he takes care of it and cleans it, maintains it, or his dad does, or his dad takes it to his shops and has him do it, it'll last a long time. Something he could keep, put up if he wanted to. Maybe someday when he have kids, let that be his kid's first bike. That'd be kind of cool. Hold on a sec. Here's the seat post. Now look at that rust. That rust is a little more substantial than that crank was. That's some pretty heavy, solid rust right there on that seat post. So you can tell the part that was in the frame and the part that was exposed. So let's see what this does to that. Now you see it's starting to come off, but what I noticed is I've got this side of the steel wool that I sprayed the PB Power Blaster on there. So this is the most heavily soiled part of it, and I've got it all greased up. So I'm going to switch to the other side, the dry side, and I'm going to use it, because this is, you know, it's getting a little wore. This is really fine steel wool, so it ain't going to last forever and a day. Let's try it. See if we can get it off there. See, it ain't even touching it. It's not even getting that rust off right there. On the front side, the rust that is not that bad and is not pitted, see, front side come a lot cleaner, but this one spot on the back, it's real heavy, for whatever reason, it's really heavy on there. But here's what we're gonna do. Hold on a sec here. Let's see if I can find something. Where would it be? Back in 1 second. All right, got a little sanding disc here, and this is some 120. Goes on my random orbital sander. Okay, so this is kind of rough. It's more than I really like to do, but with that kind of rust, now I'm gonna leave the liquid on there because I don't want to do it dry. We're gonna take a corner of this and see what we can do. Be real light with it. Just try to break the surface tension of the rust. We're not gonna like push down and gouge into it. We're just gonna be real light with it. Okay. And we're gonna take our side that's lubricated, hit it up again, some of that lubrication on there, so I don't want to scratch the seat post. They're starting to come off. We got to start at something. And we'll take the sandpaper again, a little bit at a time, lightly. Look there. It's not perfect. There's still a little bit of rust on there, and I'll have to remove the seat to get all the way up here where the seat sits on the top. But how much better is that? Still a little rust on there. We'll work on it slowly, little bits at a time, till we get it the way we want it. And sometimes restoring old bikes, things are not perfect. They don't always turn out perfect. It's just part of it. You do the best you can. I mean, if I had, like when I was done with this, when I got all the rust off, if I had like a drill press with a buffing wheel and some rubbing compound, I could really get this to shine. I'll hit it with the drill and the little buffing wheel I got and some Meguiar's, you know, and try to make it even shinier. But if you had a drill press and the right rubbing compounds, I mean, you can really polish some stuff out. I mean, it could look like it just came off the factory floor. But even without all that stuff, just a little bit of labor. I'm not working very hard. I'm not sweating. I'm not, oh my God. I mean, it's just a little bit of love, and we can fix things. You know, instead of, well, this bike's got rust all over, just throw it in the dump. Why? Why would you do that? Don't do that. Gotta love the stuff we have, man. Here's another example. Wheels. Now, those tires are dry rotted. I have got to get on there tonight and order them tires. But can you see the rust on the wheel itself? All right, here's the stem. All right, let's see that rust. Let's do a little section by there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that wheel now. You see that? Look how shiny that is now. It's like it's brand new. It just came out the factory. I mean, the spokes are not shiny, but I haven't went over any of them yet. And that hub, oh my God. Look how filthy that is. That is definitely going to need to be taken apart. That is going to have to be really cleaned, really good, and definitely re-greased. And I mean, but just look at that rust. Look how it's gone. Look how shiny that wheel is now. These things will look like brand new if we'd spend a little time on them instead of landing them up in a dump. No, we got to shine them up, take care of them. Has some writing on it. It says CMC 20 by 1 3/8 WD. Might be more writing on it, somewhere underneath all that dirt and rust. But just take the time to, you know, put a little effort in and make old things new again. Might really make someone's day. I mean, there might be some little kid out there just, you know, their dad has a drop bar bike and they're like, oh, I wish I could ride with Dad, but doesn't have a bike, and you know, might mean the whole world to them. You never know. But that's all I got for you at this moment. Y'all be careful, ride safe. Give a shout out to a couple guys too. Bike Man, what's up? Nomad Nick, Bicycle Hobo, what's up? All the people that have subscribed to my channel, I have like 103 subscribers now. So everybody that's subscribing and watching my content, man, I appreciate it. It's really cool, because when I started with the cargo bikes, I only had 12, and it's been about a year, and I got like 103, and it's really cool to see it growing like that, to see people interested in content about bicycles. So everybody that subscribed to me, man, big thumbs up to you. Thank you so much. Love the comments. I'm getting a lot more comments, and always love to hear from everybody. Y'all have a good day, man. Ride safe. Cargo Bike Life out.